Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. For this week's But Do They Watermarble, I'll be testing out the Pure Imagination collection available right now from Colores de Carol. I do have a full swatch interview of this collection. I'll link it down below if you're interested. I was sent these for review, and I'll link Colores de Carol's storefront and social media down below. So as always, I'm starting with my tiny teacup full of room temperature filtered water. I'm going to start first in the order that I swatched them in. So from all the beautiful pinky tones all the way back down to the purples. I usually speed this up a lot more. My laptop is still out of commission, so I'm editing on my iPad, so this is going to be a little bit longer than it usually would. So these drop fairly okay, a little bit on the slow side. They aren't necessarily really good spreaders. They do kind of float on the water really nicely. They did build up in a really tight bullseye though. I think that if you use a water marble tool or toothpick or whatever object you use to water marble and spread them out a little bit more, that they are going to work better for you. Lately, I've been dropping them and kind of relying on the dropping to make the bullseye spread out. These, I think you have to work with a little bit. So first, I'm going to go in for a linear pattern, and this was my favorite pattern with these polishes. It just makes a very gorgeous rainbow. I was able to go in for a double linear, no problem. So next I'm going to drop them in the opposite order. So this is from those gorgeous purples all the way back down to the pink tones. There are 9 linear holographic polishes in this collection plus a topper, so I'm doing 9 drops in each of these bullseyes. I was able to get them in the bullseye, but I don't necessarily recommend doing that many drops with this collection. I think that you really need to go in and manipulate the rings all the way out to the outside edges. Here I try to get them to build up again just by dropping them alone, and I really just don't think that these are going to do that. They do make a beautiful end result. These are just going to be ones that you have to work with a little bit. So here I'm going to go in for a spiral pattern. So I'm going to pull 4 points outwards and 4 points inwards. These don't dry too quickly at all. The outside rings stay nice and malleable for me. You will notice though when I dip my tool into the center of this bullseye, there is a lot of excess polish there. And I also got a little bit of a tear in the image there. So I'm going to drag my tool from the center outwards. I do think that would be an okay dip. This was not the easiest pattern to do with these polishes. So next I'm prepped with 1 coat of Tux Polishes Pure as well as cuticulate nail tape around my cuticle area. So for my final look, I decided to omit 4 of the polishes. I'm just using pretty much Roy G. Biv. So there is a pink, a gold, a green, 1 of the blue, and 1 of the purples. So just using these 5 polishes, they did spread out fairly well on their own. I did decide to go in for a few more colors. So on top of that purple, I'm going to put 1 more drop of the pink and then 1 more drop of the yellow. I think that 7 drops was a perfect amount for the bullseye for the size of the cup that I'm using. I'm going to go in again for a linear pattern. I really liked how that ended up looking. I think petals with these may be a little bit tricky because once you drag the image inwards, it's going to pile up polish in the center of that bullseye. I do love how this looks though, so I'm going to go in for a dip. I did a double dip here. I don't recommend that either. I did get a blank spot in the image, but once I single dipped on both my pointer and pinky nail, it did fabulous. So 1 at a time, I think slow and steady is going to win the race with these. I am going to fill in that white line with my lightest color, so this is the yellow. I'm just going to go in with a small detail brush and fill in that white stripe. You really can't tell at the finished look, but I do think you get a brighter color payoff by doing them 1 at a time. So next I'm going to remove the cuticulate nail tape. I'll leave them linked down below. These were sent to me for review as well, and I'm really loving this nail latex. I do have 2 different scents. I prefer the Milky Way. These have a beautiful snap when you take them off and do a really great job at making for easy cleanup. I did have to go in around my cuticle area a little bit with acetone and a cleanup brush. So now I'm going to use the topper of the collection. This is Stargazer, and I think that those shredded holographic silver particles are just a perfect addition to this final look. So here's a look at that completed mani underneath my artificial lighting. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. And this is my swatch photo underneath artificial lighting. So that wraps up today's But Do They Watermarble? I do have a really great lineup coming in the next few weeks. I've been super busy, but I have some amazing creams coming. So if you'd like to see more, please leave recommendations down below of what you'd like to see. You can also follow me on Instagram at Sloppy Swatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.